Now, obviously, Silent Hill 2's plot has been dissected by a plethora of great YouTubers that broke the game down to a T. But still, I decided to make this video because I really love this game and I want to make a case for why you should play it, even in 2022, by talking about my absolute favorite moments, at least a few of them, because there's so many, I would be here all day. Obviously, in this video, I will dwell into heavy spoiler territory, so please, if you never played this masterpiece, do yourself a favor and do so. Download it, install the amazing Enhanced Edition mod, that is the one that I use to make my series. It's super simple, and it's ready to go, and it's pretty customizable too, even though I really enjoy the settings that come out of the box. With that said, a little taste before you leave to go play it. Remember, time flows differently sometimes. Yes, that's very cryptic, but that's by design, you know? So now go play it and then come back here. Do you understand? You still here? Hello? Good, then we can start our wonderful... How am I going to call this video? I should write a script. Oh wait, I did. Why you should go play Silent Hill 2 in 2022. I'll skip around the story quite a bit. My point isn't to do a complete rundown of the story events, but to tell you why this game fascinates me so much. I'll focus on certain emotions in my own interpretations of what is going on. So please feel free to disagree and type away your thoughts on the comment section. With that said, I digress. I talk too much. I'm sorry. Let's start with the video. The first moment I love about this game is right on the beginning, how James is looking into the mirror taking a deep breath, which might not seem like much, but after you play the entire game, this scene gains an entire new meaning. James is incredibly tired, on the verge of exhaustion, in this hazy state of mind. To him, Mary died 3 years ago and we just got a letter from her, which makes no sense. And that letter says, oh, come to Silent Hill. But no, that's not the case at all. Mary didn't die 3 years ago, not even 1 year ago. Probably she died less than 1 month ago. Killed by our own hands. But our mind cannot cope with the weight of what that means. So we search endlessly for what isn't there and even conjure a fake letter and a fake envelope that acts as some sort of a deceive of one tiny part of our mind over the much larger part that is a foggy mass diluted with fake acts and fake facts to force us to march forward and not look back, never, no matter what. That's the James you see in the beginning of the game, staring into his own eyes, his own soul, his own being, trying to touch his face but not being able to, and just extremely exhausted from the mental marathon he has been running, away from his own guilt, but becoming collapsed by it anyway, deprived of everything except one little detail, one little thing called hope. Hope to find an answer to his question. Could Mary truly be there? A genius hoax planted by his own mind to save himself from eternal wandering in nothingness. With that said, we embark on a journey like no other, but we stop very soon. By a red square out of all things, a red square that violently varges into the same soul we just stared at mere moments ago, and gropes around inside our skull. What could this be? A fragment of memories being accessed? It might seem like a simple save spot, a normal thing in video games for who's playing for the first time, but the way James describes it, plus how the fragments are arranged before our final battle with the two pyramid heads, in a square shape with 9 save points on the same place, As if you finally assembled all the fragments of the mind and you put them together into a complete puzzle. You solved the Rubik's Cube, and now you can fight against the guilt that consumed you so heavily for what felt like eons of time, and you can finally break the barrier and find some inner peace. I also love the little moment where we find a mannequin. And that mannequin is dressed like Mary. She's carrying a flashlight illuminating the entire scene in front of her. But behind Mary's mannequin, we got more mannequins broken down, and one of the mannequins is actually an enemy. Just waiting for you, lurking in the shadows, representing, in my opinion, the desires and lust that James had, hiding behind Mary, unreachable and inactive until you pick up the flashlight, but when you do and it's you shining the light on the world, things are not as nice. Oh no. Your worst nightmare had just begun once again. I love the heavy dichotomy between the grotesque, crude, raw and just plain gory imagery that the game presents to you. And then in contrast, the subtle message being communicated to us with little shifts in the narrative, with relaxing music, visual cues too, and the one that always comes to mind first is when we go to Maria's hospital room on the other world and we see all those pill bottles, bringing his mind back to when Mary was terminally ill. And then we hear the most brutal muzzle heavy breaths that once again are there to just punish James' guilty subconscious, reminding him how he killed Mary in the most traumatic way possible, making him relive the situation. Not long after, another situation that is so expertly told just through the art of soundtrack and visual cues is when James and Maria are running away from Pyramid Head that appears out of nowhere and is relentlessly chasing us. And James is able to reach salvation, but poor Maria, she's left behind, and even though we cannot see it, going along once again with the theme of subtlety, Maria is heavily implied to be impaled by Pyramid Head and killed when we cannot do anything, with guilt consuming us once again. And yes, I've been kinda alluring to it, but Pyramid Head represents the insurmountable guilt that James feels and is also the executioner to put an end to all of that suffering, or to keep us in the loop. That depends on James. And after this moment, we enter the first big shift on the game. With an unnervingly calm music playing, James just sitting around, feeling extremely heavy. Somehow even more tired than before. He gets up and goes outside and he notices Silent Hill isn't engulfed by its normal fog, but by a pure pitch black darkness, representing the huge hole that is inside of his heart and mind right now. There's nothing to see on the level, and quickly everything deteriorates around James, and for the player too, of course. We totally shift into another gear, and to continue on we need to access the deepest memories. And how does James do this? Simple, he just does this by jumping into holes that work as some sort of highway into chaos. But he doesn't care, because deep down he feels that's the only way to feel the warmth of true inner peace once again. I could keep going on and on, about the graveyard with the names of the main characters, as if you gotta confront death itself for what you have done to finally overcome your guilt. Or what about how the letter from Mary goes blank, and then the envelope fully disappears, and you can only notice this if you check them through the inventory multiple times, so you can actually spot the difference. How the elevator doesn't carry anything except those two exact items, and it keeps implying we are more than one person. How about your actions influencing the ending you get? Like you being constantly low on health or not? How much you check Mary's picture and letter? How much you interact with the character? And I could go on and on and on, but I don't feel the need to. Those were the emotions I want to talk about the most. And I want to leave some room for you to explore the rest of the game too, come up with your own theories and amazing emotions, and commentating about them on the comment section below. Cause that's what YouTube is supposed to be, you know, a platform where we share our memories about whatever subject the video is about. Yes, I know, I didn't even mention the amazing stories, and very sad too, actually very brutal, that the other characters have to tell, but there's no reason to do so in this video. I feel like I rambled enough for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. This game deserves a remake of the highest quality, but until then, play this version, it's still amazing, trust me. Especially with the enhanced edition mod. Thank you guys and girls, you did an amazing job, seriously. Thank you. See you next time. Peace.